Hi everybody, I hope that you can hear me. Apologies if something is wrong. This is my first stream and I do have a bit of stage fright. And Tech Freaks, thank you very much for your donation. It means a lot, really. Well, hi everybody and thanks for coming for my first ever stream. Well, I wanted to thank everybody for 2k subs. So this is thank you for 2k subs, and also this is a gift to myself on my birthday. So yeah, happy birthday to me today. I already had a cake. Just let me fix the light a bit. It's okay. It will pass. Well, what I had in store for today is to go through my setup where I have both Hasayo and yes you are my first ever super chat. Thank you. So I will be going today to my test setup where I have both Home Assistant in Docker and Hasayo running on the same instance, but not at the same time, of course. And also I will be showing you a couple of things I have in my personal setup for the Telegram notifications, because I really do love Telegram. Yeah, I do have a beard, and thank you, Graham, for wishing a happy birthday. I wish I could have my friends over, but we had a nice video chat today and we really liked it. Okay, so let me try and switch the window. Unfortunately, I'm still waiting for power supply for my second monitor, so I will have to switch between the OBS that I'm using for streaming and the Windows, so I may miss notification or message, but I will try to go through them. Let's go to my let's start with the Synology. Okay, so this is my Synology. This is Xpenology. Unfortunately, I had to return the one device I had for testing and recording to Trade, the local company here. They gave it to me for a couple of months to play with it, and I used the old PC I had to put on it Xpenology and to install same version I used in my first recordings. I think it's RS1814 or something like that. So let's jump into Docker here. Let me show you what I have in my test setup. So here you can see all the containers I'm using right now. As you can see, some are disabled and some are enabled. This is the difference between the Hasayo version and the Home Assistant version. Currently, I'm running Hasayo. Where is it? Hasayo Supervisor. And this instance Home-Assistant is my Docker. So whenever I test something, I have to manually switch on Supervisor, then kill all the remaining Dockers that are still active. For example, those add-ons and all those that are related to the Home Assistant. And then I just turn on Home Assistant, and if I need, for example, I don't know, MB or AppDaemon or whatever, I turn them on and use them in my test setup. Let me switch to the Home Assistant. Yeah, Xpenology. I did the guide for the Let's Encrypt an SSL. Unfortunately, I don't like the way you have to do it on the Hasayo in the Synology version. If you would do it on the Raspberry Pi, it would be much simple. But as you are using Synology, you have a problem that you cannot push those certificates inside Home Assistant. And recommendation from the Frederica, I think, the guy who made Hasayo package for the Synology, is that then you use following method. Okay, my Home Assistant is warning me that it's evening. Let's go to Control Panel. Let's go to the Security certificate. So as you can see, I have this bearded URL duckDNS. This is a test certificate I made here, but you are unable to copy it inside the SIO. The recommendation is that you would have to go to the where is it? Just a second. External access. Nope. Not here. Nope. You have to go through the proxy. Just a second. Where is it? Not privileges. External devices. External access. Nope. For the life of me, I cannot remember where was it. But you would have to use proxy to proxy traffic from the external port to the Synology. Synology would then decrypt traffic, move it to the HTTP, and then you would get HTTP connection between the proxy and Home Assistant. SIO. So what is the bad thing about that is that unfortunately still some components that require SSL, for example VS Code, they would give you error. So there is no way for you to, on Synology, as far as I know, as far as I've tested and seen and googled, you're just unable to do full SSL encryption on that traffic. Okay, let me switch to the Home Assistant. Okay, this is my, let me find the window. Okay, so this is it. This is my test setup. I try to keep all the components installed all the time so I can track if there is an error, if I have to update the video or not. I do not have much components from the Home Assistant community store. Maybe you've seen my last video. This was for the Luftdaten sensor. I tested it on the both test environment and my host setup, and I also have Shelly because I also did some videos on that. Let me update this. Although I'm still a little bit fighting with the Shellys, I will show you in my home setup why. I do not trust the data in regards to the kilowatt hours used. Let's update this. Okay, and let's see if there is something here. Yeah, I'm running version 108.0 and I should be on 105. Okay, and while that is updating, let me jump to my home setup. Let me find the window. Where is my window? I have too much open windows. Okay. Okay. It should be visible now or not. Okay. Yeah, I've heard about jellyfin. I never tried it. I used Plex for a long time when I had time to watch anything. Now, unfortunately, I have too much uh, uh, paid subscriptions for the channels. Light is terrible. I have too much paid subscriptions, so I have HBO, I have Netflix, and I just do not have that much time, unfortunately. Let me reload the screen. Okay, so I did a video on my setup. What I wanted to show you is the Shelly. So this is my current consumption, daily usage, etc. Let me just wait a second until the graphs are done. I'm pulling last 7 days of data, and unfortunately it takes a little bit longer for the graphs to show up on the screen. Let's see, like this. No, it's still slow. Okay, they're showing up. I had to reset everything because, first of all, the Shelly component in the HACS store in the HACS changed how it works. Let me show you what was the change. I don't know if you are using Shelly. I really like it because it's very simple to install. But where are those? Is it plugin? Oh, okay, here it is. So in a version 1.0.1.7, they introduced change into the representation of the data. Let's see the change log. Let me switch the window. So it looks like the window is frozen. You do not see changes in the window. You should see this one. Okay. As you can see, default unit for total consumption changed to kilowatt hours. And this broke really all the data I had inside the system. So I had to reset everything to align it with the new data that has been stored inside Home Assistant. And what I've seen is that there was a discrepancy. For example, my total apartment watts used at the point in time were lower than, for example, my washing machine, which is something that's impossible because washing machine should be calculated also inside the apartment electricity usage. So they changed this. I think that now this is working as it should be. Let me change back to the okay. Yeah, okay. So this is the issue I'm currently having. This is not the issue. I'm still tracking, do they match or not. Now it looks as it is working as it should be. But on the other hand, I'm still having a problem with the utility meter, and that one is still displaying watts per hour, while this is displaying kilowatts per hour. So yeah, it's just displayed differently, but the data should be okay. But I'm waiting for the next month for data to reset to see if everything will be as it should be. Okay, let's see what I have here new. Oh, my super secret Minecraft server. This is something that I've reinstalled for my daughter and her friends, but unfortunately she's not playing. On the other hand, I hope that she's spending her time learning more and not playing something like Sims or something like that. Oh, hi. Okay. Those two I've shown in my videos. This is the Luftdaten air quality index or sensor. I like it really much because it's not, just a second, again it's not shifting pages. Let me try and fix it. Let me try and fix it. Why is that? It's working now. Okay. I don't know why sometimes in my OBS gets stuck and it doesn't update. It doesn't update the display. So what I want to show here is what I did with the Luftdaten sensor. This is something that I've told in my video, but it didn't show. So I'm tracking the PM10 and PM2.5 particles inside my apartment. But I'm also using a couple of additional things. I'm measuring if it is increasing or decreasing. So depending on the status, if it's going up or down, it then waits for the additional trigger, and the additional trigger is double the normal recommended value. So I think that normal recommended value for particle matters 2.5 is 10 micrograms per cubic meter, or whatever this is, and if it is double that, meaning it's over 20 and it has tendency of increasing, I should get notification on my mobile phone. Same is for the PM10, sorry, not PM10, PM10. If it is double the recommended normal value, which is still good enough air, quality of air, I get notification both on my Telegram and also using the Home Assistant. I get verbal notifications in my home, and we can go and check that out if you're interested. Well, you do not have alternative. I will switch there. Let me just, okay, hopefully, yeah, it changed. So let's go through my configuration here. I wish to thank Frank, because Frank helped me a lot with his video and instructions on how to split my configuration. And you would probably get dizzy if you would want to see how this is divided. Let me just fix the light. Note to self: buy new light. Okay. Bogalen. Okay, so my whole configuration is split. Every piece of the configuration file is split into the additional folders and additional sub files and subfolders. So if you go into the configuration file, you can see that more or less everything is disabled here, and I'm just redirecting everything to the additional files or additional subfolders. So each and every integration has its own file. For example, if I go to Luftdaten that I talked now, each file has a name of the integration, link to the Home Assistant or GitHub page, information about the sensor, etc. If you would go to, I don't know, cast, these are all my cast devices. Of course, everything is also secured in a secrets file. I hope that I will not be opening it today by accident. I would need to do a lot of password changes. So I wanted to show you how I get notifications for the quality of air. So let's go back to Luftdaten. In Luftdaten, I have sensor. I'm pulling values for the P1 and P2. P1 is PM10 and P2 is PM2.5. Then I'm taking those values, and if I'm not mistaken, in entities, in sensors, and as you can see, I have a couple of them. I'm having, this is a local integration. Oh no, I'm having it in the binary sensors. Yep, PM10. So I'm tracking the trend using the trend component for each individual sensor. So PM10 and PM2.5. I'm creating a new sensor called PM increase, and this is the data that trend is based on. So next step is to go to automations. I have here PM10 increase automations. So I am now tracking the state of the binary sensor. Is it off or on? Meaning that if it's falling down, decreasing, I'm not interested. But if the state changes to increase or on, and I check following two conditions. So is it increasing, and is the value above the, as I said, double the normal value? Some smart person decided that is a good value for particles in the air. And if it is above it, I'm calling a script. There are a lot of jumps in my configuration file. You cannot do anything quickly because you will definitely mess or break something. And if it is increasing, then I get on my living room, Google Home or Nest Home, whatever it is called now, I get verbal notification. And what I always prefer to do is not to have a single notification. I have those two defined here. If I want, I can add here a third. Please vent room now. And what it will do, it will pull one of those messages here, and it will say them randomly depending on whatever the algorithm we are using. I really like those scripts and those random things. I don't know if you have used scripts or wrote, especially the parts with the templates where you can have funny random text based on the same event. For example, I just had sunset. Where is evening light speech? Okay. So I'm having this script triggered depending on when the sun goes below horizon. I think it's 30 minutes after or before sun goes under the horizon. Every time I get a different notification, or verbal notification on my living room Google Home Nest. Same goes for the almost midnight. But for the almost midnight, this is a trigger for me because, yeah, I unfortunately I'm getting a little bit old and I fall asleep all the time in front of the TV. But I still have to take the dog out every evening. So this is my notification that lights will go out in 30 minutes, and I better take the dog for a walk. And this automation looks something like this. So at 11:30 p.m. or 23:30, if we are at home, what I do is I dim brightness of the living room lights. I turn off those lights here. I send notification to my TV, and then I run this speech script that randomly chooses one of the lines I cleverly written. Nice one, nice one. Yeah, I'm not using anything to play because yeah, we, especially at this time, everybody is getting up at different times. This morning I got up at 5:50. Yeah, it is a mess of the configuration, but when you get used to this, it's now much easier. It's now much easier to find something than it was before. Okay, so is it better now? I've never been told that I'm quiet. I'm usually loud and I cannot stop to speak. Okay, so let me see what I have here that is at least a bit interesting. Okay, no, this is not interesting. Okay, these are my Telegram bots. I did everything. I made the menus for the Telegram so you can control it with the buttons and triggers, but unfortunately I'm not using it. There are a lot of people that are tactile, meaning that they've kept switches and buttons around the apartment, and I've tried to move everything to the speech, which is also a problem because yeah, English is not my native language, although we all speak here English. My family just feels it's stupid that we have to talk with the device on the English. So that's why I've left buttons for everybody, and I'm trying to control everything with the speech, and this is why I'm not using my Telegram setup that much for the control of the home, but there is everything here. For example, let's look at the control panel. So what this does is those here are strings that then when you send them to Telegram change to the icons. So you can change, you can, for example, select this and control lights. You can go into this sub menu and control the system. You can pull this menu and then get weather information. So for example, if I would go to lights, just a second, if I would go to lights, okay, here you can see that each line has its own there are a couple of actions here divided. So you create a trigger inside Telegram to do some kind of a script or event on your home assistant. So instead of saying, okay, whatever, turn on off my lights, I can go to Telegram, just select menu and select no, ceiling on or ceiling off, and it will turn on or off my ceiling lights. This one is disabled. For example, these are the dining room lights. So you have two triggers, dining off and dining on. The bad thing about this way of keeping your configuration is that you really have to divide every command, every automation inside the different file. But on the other hand, if you do some kind of naming convention that you think about, there is really easy way to find something. So for example, these are all things that are related to the Telegram. There are a bunch of those commands, and here you can see what are the different activities. So these are the location. If I want to know where I am or where my kids are or where my wife is, or if they want to know where any of us is, they can just press the button inside Telegram, and Telegram will definitely and Telegram will send them current location inside the map. Okay, let's see what else do I have here. Well, this is one thing that so far I got notified, I think only 2 times or 3 times. 2 times when we had maintenance of the electricity grid in the neighborhood here, and the last one was 3 weeks ago when we had earthquake. It was funny experience. I'll probably write a book how I survived the PTSD of the earthquake in the 6 in the morning. But it's really nice because I have my setup. So I have UPS. On the UPS I have my Synology, but I also have fiber optic cable coming from the telecom operator, and I have my router that is behind this fiber optics, and my PoE switch. So more or less all my network is up and running, even if there is a power failure. Also my Wi-Fi is PoE, so access point is receiving power through my switch. So also the cameras, which is funny because now I have a recording of the earthquake. A couple of my friends that I see here on the stream from the work have seen the video. It was really nice and funny video. Not that it was funny at that time, but it's funny that system survived everything in terms of it was performing well. Of course, all other devices that were on the main power shut down, and I think that UPS was enough for almost 2 hours, 1 hour and 45 minutes, because I'm also now running my recording Synology on that UPS, so it's draining power more quickly. Okay, one nice feature I have here is the kids notification. I like to annoy my daughter, my youngest one, and this is the notification I've been talking about. This is the Nickelodeon Counter. She prefers to watch the Nickelodeon, so after 15 minutes of watching it, she gets notification on the TV in the corner saying, okay Zita, you're watching Nickelodeon for 15 minutes, and she also gets a verbal notification on the Google Home Minis. So that's a funny one, and I like to annoy her. But on the other hand, I also have a counter that I'm currently not using. Is at this point I'm just triggering it after 15 minutes. I never managed to, I never found time to do it so that she would get multiple notifications. So okay, did you stop watching after 15 minutes, or is the counter still going on? Same thing is yeah, we can we can exchange cam recordings. Yeah. Yeah. No, 15 minutes is not too long, but as a parent you get your perks that you can sometimes annoy them more than, yeah, psychologists would recommend doing it. I'm also using one sensor really strangely. Where is that? Front door sensor. Okay. So most of the people use those contact sensors. I have Xiaomi contact sensors to get notification of the burglars or whatever. As you can see, I wouldn't probably stop any burglar because I have it triggered at 5 minutes. So yeah, that's a long time for a contact sensor to be open. But I'm using it because my kids constantly, or my youngest daughter, my oldest daughter is in her room constantly. I should probably put a sensor to see how many times in a day she exited her room or not. But my youngest constantly goes in and out, and she never closes the door, which is not an issue. We live in an apartment building, and we have 3 flats that are connected with a long balcony. So our first neighbor has daughter that goes in the same class with mine, so they play a lot. But the problem is they keep forgetting to close the door, and in the summer that's okay, never mind, but they also forget it when it's -10 outside. So I usually what I did is I figured it out about 2.5 hours later, when I went into this small room and it was snowing already inside. So this is like a trigger. So okay, they forgot to close the door once again. So yeah, this is funny for me, but yeah. I'm not currently using Facebooks anymore, not because it's not working or anything, but I find that everybody in the home hated me for getting verbal notification when somebody is going and leaving the apartment. Let's see what I have here. So automations, customizations, entities. Okay, so these are my binary sensors. I'm not using driving. It should track the speed of my geolocation, but currently I'm not using it for anything. Heating I'm using just to check if there is a problem with the heating. I did a video Tado volume 2. I found there is an issue with the Tado. If the battery is too low, it will remember the old state inside the central component, and you could get permanent cold to heat action. So this is why I have triggers reminding me to check the heating if it's been heating for more longer than 60-90 minutes. Okay, workday. Okay, workday today and workday tomorrow. Yeah, I want to get notification if I have to go to work tomorrow or not. Cameras will skip. Device trackers, there's nothing here. Input, this is something that I'm still working on. Unfortunately, I never have enough time to finish all that I want to do. So input select is something that I've been playing a long time, and I don't know if anybody is using it. I think that I wanted to be able to stream tune-in radio from the Home Assistant, or triggering it inside the Home Assistant and then pushing it to various speakers around the house. But unfortunately, I never managed to get it working correctly. So if anybody has a tip on that one, or script, if it's Node-RED or whatever, I'll definitely be looking at it. Hi Nigel. What are you fixing today? You will definitely come there. I really like your videos. They are great. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I'm trying to keep up. Which is another subject that I want to address. This is the releases of the future videos. But let me get back onto the Chromecast and streaming tuning. Unfortunately, I never was able to do it in such a way that I would be able to, in Home Assistant, select radio station and select the speaker where I want them to stream, and then just stream tuning on that speaker. It has been much easier for me to just use Google Assistant and to say play something on something like that. Thank you, Nigel. So any tip on this one will be great. Input text should be also used for that, but I'm not using lights. These are all my lights. Media players only one. I will not be opening persons. And these are the sensors I'm having. Most of them are the sensors I also did video. For example, 17 track. I use it a lot because I have a lot of packages coming in. Air visual I'm not using anymore. Average humidity, for what is that used? Okay, I'm tracking the average humidity inside the apartment, taking into account different rooms. I have a 2-story apartment, so living space is down there, and the bedrooms are upstairs. So I'm just trying to see what the average value of the humidity inside the apartment is. Dark sky, that is nothing. Okay, dark sky I'm not using anymore. Dining room lights, this is something that I used previously before I installed a Shelly. this is humongous. So what I did is, I know that I have, for example, 5 lights, and I know what each LED light is and what the consumption of that light is. So I made the calculation based on the on or off state of each individual LED light to try to count the electricity usage, but it's unfortunately it's not working as it was, and I'm discarding it now. Ether scan, nothing. GTFS, this is something that I would love to have for the component working, but I think that after about 3 months of playing with it, I found that the problem in the component is because of the way the data is stored for my local company here, Z, whatever that means. I know what that means, but forget it. So they just are not using, they are not implementing the standard as they should be, so data is not on places where it should be, and the component fails. When I was testing it, for example, with the San Francisco trams or something like that, or buses, it worked great. But whenever I try to implement it with the Croatian or Zagreb electric tram, unfortunately it doesn't work. I still have here from the testing. No, it's this one is also for the. No, this one was for the. This one was when I was testing San Francisco transport. Yeah. So this is again electricity usage. These are the lights. Nothing here. Low button. Max room temperatures, minimum room temperatures. This is based on the TADO values. A moon. Why not? I'm tracking phases of the moon. I don't know why I'm tracking them, but I can. This one is for the cube. This is one of the devices that it's great, but it just never lived. It just never. Nobody at my family got used to it, so we are now using it as a paperweight. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm unable to even force myself to use it because I'm using voice, and I would have to go and reach and find where it is, and then remember, okay, if I turn it 90 degrees, this is kitchen lights. If I flip it on the back side, it's, I don't know, living room lights. So yeah. Hey, Samozabava. Any new songs lately? Yeah, unfortunately, Dark Sky. I know. I was petrified. I was really. I was not shocked because we know that they bought it, and it was just about time that they would cut the. I think that they said that in 2 or 3 months they will be cutting API or something like that. That's what happens. Hey Lars, hi Sam. Yeah, I agree with you on buying hardware that's self-explanatory, and the idea of that cube is great, but I think that we just overgrown it or never got used to it. So I really am keeping it in the living room on the table. But I also have 2 Ikea switches. One is the remote with the 5 buttons, I think, that you can also change the temperature and the intensity. And I also have one which is just that newer rocker switch Ikea button that is great for turning on and off, and also the dimming and brightening lights. So I don't know what I would do with that magic cube. I can give it to somebody if wants. Well, we can do a sweepstake. Somebody can get it. Hi DX. Uh, I really recommend it. One of the things that got me into the Home Assistant, I've been now using it for a year and a half, 2 years. I don't remember. I'm getting old and forgetting. Is my colleague? Well, he was my former colleague, friend, who told me, "Oh, did you check, bro?" And I really liked his video. And one of the first videos I've seen from him is his DIY temperature humidity sensor, and he's tinkering on how to optimize it and get more uh, better values out of it, to calibrate it and to make it easier to work. And that's really why I like this Luftdaten sensor. First of all, you can buy everything from them if you want. Second of all, you can buy your own components. Third, you can choose what components you want. You can put it inside your home, outside of your home. I'm currently working, I'm not working, I'm waiting for some parts. I will be making a small LED panel and two 18560 18650 batteries. I always forget the numbers. Those two batteries hooked up with the LED panel, small charger for those batteries, and then hooking it up to the Luftdaten sensor to see if I can make it autonomous. The only thing I don't like here now is that you have to provide it with constant external power. It is running on the ESP8266, which is really power sensitive and can be put in sleep mode, but because of this particle metal sensor, it has to be constantly online. Not just because of that, also because of the firmware and the way it exchanges data with the backend, but you cannot put it in a sleep. So I've been testing it on the external power. I have now those small USB chargers that solar cell, yeah, those small chargers that have one battery inside that were given away. I don't know, at some expo or something. It's very old. It's not keeping power anymore that good, but I managed to get about 14 hours of time of that device working on that battery. So I'm thinking that if I put two newer cells, if I'm able to provide enough power with the solar panel, that I may be able to make it completely autonomous. The only issue is range of the Wi-Fi, and that is the problem I'm having. Currently in my apartment, because the Wi-Fi is not as good as I want. And Ozzy, if you are here, I will definitely not be buying Google or Nest Wi-Fi. No way. I know the problems you are having with the Raspberry Pi, so no, thank you. So I have to resolve those two issues. One is the Wi-Fi range, and the other one is to provide it with the enough power so it can work even on bad day when there is a bad weather outside. Yeah, that too. Pat, you are correct. You're definitely right at this one. I'm tinkering a lot for the last 40 plus years, depending on what I tell that I'm old. I have in my summer house weather station from, how it's called, Lacrosse or something like that. I have Lacrosse weather station 2100, something very old. It's now, I think, 10 or 15 years old. And I know the issues of positioning because I'm there. I there have a rain collection, temperature, humidity, wind position, and it's really hard to put it in such spot that you do not have direct sunlight, that you are well above the radiation of the ground. So I'm aware of that, but I do not think that I will be having that problem because I'm also living on the 5th floor or 6th floor, something like that. And we have forest here, so we have a lot of colder wind. So I think that this movement of wind will cool it enough, or not. We will see. Yeah, Lars, you are right. I was looking at the mesh network. The only thing that is currently stopping me from going to the mesh network is money, of course. Not really money, but that is one of the issues. I have 2 Wi-Fi access point at this point. I'm adding now 3rd. This will be Xiaomi's Wi-Fi extender. I'm waiting for it to arrive. It's been late. I think that I should have gotten it by now, but no matter. But the only thing I'm missing in most of the popular mesh networks is, for example, the Google's mesh network is great, but it doesn't allow you to do stuff under the hood. For example, if you've seen my videos, you know that I also like to go inside the command prompt and do some things inside the terminal to hack a little, not a lot, but bits that can help me improve my setup. And when the company doesn't allow you to tweak your own setup, I try to stay away from them. Not that they're bad, but it's not just how I would like to yeah. I've seen Dr. Z's video on the Ubiquiti, and I like it a lot. I will try to get my hands and to play a little bit with that. Yes, mesh Wi-Fi is for the large houses, but I live, as I said, in a 2-floor apartment, and thank God, because I live in the center of the city and we had an earthquake and there are a lot of damaged houses around us. We are in how it's called, reinforced concrete. So we have a lot of steel and a lot of concrete in the floors, and my signals are just, yeah. So Ubiquiti, I will definitely test. Synology, I will probably get my hands on the router from the Synology and see how it's working. I do not know if they have mesh network. Mesh network is great if you do not have alternative. I moved into this apartment. This was from my wife's family apartment, and we redid it 5 years ago. So I put a lot of cable inside it. So every room has at least one, or if not more, category 5 or category 6 cables. So I'm not having that issue. I can really connect access point wherever I want. And for me, it's better because my backbone is gigabit network, and I can easily connect more access point directly inside the switch or router. So I think I will get much better performance than I would get with any kind of a mesh network. Mesh network is great if you're retrofitting something and you want to extend the range. Yeah. Of course, I may be mistaking. As I said, for example, my kids, because of these pandemics, my tinfoil hat is somewhere near. They have to use. Each one of them has to use a laptop. So the problem with the youngest is no issue. They just write some Word documents or PowerPoint presentations or whatever. And my oldest is, of course, learning through Netflix. So she was having an issue with the Wi-Fi, and I resolved it. I just plugged the cable inside the computer, and now she's having 1 gigabit network inside her room. Not really, because yeah, that's another story. Laptop is very old, but yeah, so I prefer to have as much devices as I can on the physical network, so I can leave the Wi-Fi. Thank you for this. I will not be going much longer today. This was just a test stream, and to say thank you to everybody who joined me and who subscribed to my channel. But let me get back. So most of my devices are hooked directly to the network, which leaves my Wi-Fi free for devices that I cannot attach. For example, my Google devices, Wi-Fi, my mobile phones, my laptop. I work a lot in the living room, so this is why that's the way I've tried to balance the network optimization. Thank you. What are we fixing? MikroTik, I have it, but I'm having the one that is purely router, not access point. I'm just using the router part. My network is something that I would really love to burn and start from scratch, but I think that next thing I will be testing is Unify. Yeah, Unify. Why not? Yeah. Okay, so before we end the stream, I planned 1 hour, and my wife is probably waiting already for me to finish because I have occupied half of the floor. In regards to videos, so I do have a couple of videos prepared. They are not finished completely. One of the videos is Android TV and ADB server, so connecting the Android TV to the Home Assistant. I hope to have this as soon as possible out. The other video is on the tile integration. Although I'm not sure about this. I've recorded half of the video, but tile is great and I don't like it. From all of those devices, I'm expecting something that they are not. For example, tile didn't sync back to my phone for 5-6 days. Okay, I didn't need it to sync because I know where my keys are, but integrated with Home Assistant, you would probably never use it as a location device. You would definitely use mobile phone before that, so I'm not sure what would be the purpose of using integration. I will do a video on it, and it's working, but I'm just not seeing the benefit of tile inside the Home Assistant. Android TV, I have to do that setup. I bought this box for recording of the video, and it's now been sitting for I think 2 months almost since I received it. Yeah, it's 2 months now. So I have to record it because I've promised to give it to my father as alternative to his PC that is now attached to TV. I don't know. He didn't want to get Chromecast, although he has Chromecast on other devices. Yeah, different story. And I hope to get PC that he has, so I can put Proxmox on that. But that's story for another video. And what else? I really would like to get okay, yeah, and unfortunately one video I wanted to record and I recorded only half of it. First half was the Let's Encrypt in SSL for the Synology, and the other half of the video was how to implement then SSL inside Home Assistant when running purely in Docker, and the other video was supposed to be on how to use those certificates with the Has.io running on Synology. And then we had earthquake, and yeah, I didn't record it. And the biggest problem currently I'm having is that I'm working from home, as most of us in Croatia are, and my kids have home schools, so there is really a lot of noise. We have great way for kids to teach. All the lower classes, this is from the 1st to the 4th grade, are having parts of the school on TV. So that means that there is a TV noise, and there is a kids noise, and there is all the other noise. And I was planning to get one room in the building where I live, which is empty, but unfortunately that room has no air intake, or there is no window or possibility to make any kind of ventilation, and I would definitely suffocate there. So until I figure out something, it's a bit of an issue for me to get a time slot for recording. But as my birthday present, my family said that they will give me now 1 hour a week to record the video. So I hope to record and release those videos soon. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Okay, they are great and they are supportive, and I really like to thank my family, because probably any other family would kick me out of the door already. Okay, thank you. I will be wrapping up. It's been now 1 hour. I'm sorry if I missed something. If you really have any kind of a question, you can always leave me a question on the Discord. I will probably, after editing, release this video on the channel, so you can also leave a comment or your comment or sorry, idea or suggestion inside the comment section. So you can find me on the Discord, and yeah. Nice one. I know that. Yeah. Unfortunately, my kids sometimes, I had one old laptop. I repurposed it now and put it in my youngest daughter's room, because she was using this video for the this computer for her school. So I gave that one to her. So now I have this PC back to myself. What was I babbling about? Yes, I have a Discord server. Let me figure out how I can post a link. Okay, invite people. Copy. Let's give me a second. This is the Discord server. So if you have any suggestion, if you like this, please give me a thumbs up, of course. It means really a lot, and thank you all for subscribing. It means a lot. And maybe I could make this regular, for example, once a month or something like that, to compile a list of things that you are interested in, so I can go through some questions and answers with you, and to show you some things I have. I also hope to have some other components arriving, and I will do more stuff like the Luftdaten sensor. I really like that one a lot. But I have to wrap this up. I would really like to thank everybody who joined me today. Let me try and see something here. I would also like to thank one specific person. Believe it or not, I have a Patreon server that I didn't activate, and on purpose I didn't even on purpose publish any data, but somehow somebody managed to find it. And Oleg, I really want to thank you for your Patreon support. It means really a lot, and definitely everything I get from this will go into buying more stuff, such as tiles, Android TVs for recording. So this is it. I really thank you once again for I really want to thank you once again for joining me, and have fun and be safe. Let me see how I can end this.